what is up? Lefty back here again, and thanks for checking out the video. So today, I'm gonna give my little update ever since changing to red dots. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right guys, so we're gonna do a quick little video. Like I said about the title of the video and what I just said like 3 seconds ago. My little update of my experience with switching to red dots is kind of like my primary whatever for handguns. And real quick, for people who don't know, and obviously I don't know how the fuck you wouldn't, but it is November 4th, election eve, so it should be pretty fun to see kind of what happens in about 30-ish hours, something like that. So hopefully everything goes good. I'm willing it into existence that everything is smooth, no matter who wins. I don't really care. So for people who are not fans of the channel, I have recently switched to red dots. It's kind of a primary thing for my handguns. I did the switch with the 519T with Holosun. The slide was milled with Jagerworks milling. At which I never actually bothered to replace the front and rear sight, so I've been running basically just dot. Now I did make a quick little update after doing this sort of thing, but I kind of want to just make another video just to kind of document my kind of experience, and for other people that are like interested, but I don't know if I want to put in a lot of that money and blah blah blah. So let's kind of get right into it. So again, to kind of jump off the previous video with what I said, basically the red dot is pretty fantastic, and it kind of only furthers my need to want to put like red dots in all my handguns, or at least all my main kind of defensive handguns, for a couple reasons. One, it makes you better at shooting, and I probably will do this a little bit of a different video going into kind of my my sort of experience with my kind of my shooting career, or whatever you want to call it. Because it has changed in the way that I kind of do training, and the way that I kind of think about how I'm supposed to do training has completely changed kind of relatively recently and stuff like that. So now when I'm going to the range, I'm doing things completely different. I kind of want to do a different video on that subject. So yeah, with that in mind, I can keep my focus right on the target when I'm going to shoot at, and I can just press the trigger and just focus on getting a good grip. Not having to work so much about my vision things, because as the glasses kind of prove, my vision is actually terrible. More so than what you would think. You might think I'm just nearsighted and blah, 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 which I am, but having the dot definitely helps. Because one thing that I've noticed is that, I don't know why I'm taking my glasses off, because it's not like you can see what I'm seeing, but just bear with me, I'm speaking truth here. So, if I were to take my glasses off, and let's say in a pretty brightly lit room, something like that with iron sights, I could see a person pretty far away. I don't know, probably say, let's just say 20 yards, okay? Now, if I were to see a person and I were to bring up a iron sight gun, I could see the iron sight, but now that my vision is so close to my face, that's right on my hand essentially, that the entire background, unless he's really, really contrasted, like he's wearing black and he's standing up against like a white wall or something, he's gonna fade out, right? So my target kind of fades out, and I can kind of mimic it here doing this. I mean, it basically just kind of blends into everything. And that wall is probably only 10 yards or so away from me. So yeah, everything just kind of blurs out into one big muddled mess. Not great for, again, defensive kind of shooting if I wasn't wearing contacts, or let's say my glasses got knocked off and stuff like that. But now I have a red dot, obviously much better with perfect vision. But now the cool thing is I don't have to shift my vision to the iron sights or anything like that. I can just stay focused on that blurry thing that I know is a target, right? And no issue. So it is kind of cool for that respect. Obviously that may or may not translate to your situation, but it does to mine. So I like that in that regard. And again, just reiterating, it's a lot easier to pick up targets because I'm picking up the person, the target, the thing first, and I'm going to shoot before I can get my sight on it. And then again, once I have my sight on it, I'm just soft focusing on the red dot, superimpose on the thing that I want to shoot. It's much more faster to pick up targets. It's much more faster to gunfight with it, if you want to use that term or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it's a lot easier to track. So big fan. Why is Iowa calling me? I don't know. Now as well, and I don't know if I've actually mentioned it in the previous video. I think I might have slightly. Actually went to take my mom shooting again before the elections to make sure she's all up on her shit, because, you know, whatever. And then long story short, I don't know. Basically the gun that she carries in her purse, when we took it out, has been so neglected that the fucker has rust on it. And it's not because we live in Florida or something like that. We live in Minnesota, but it's just the supreme cold, leaving it out in the car, which I don't know why she does that. Bringing it into a hot, gets a lot of moisture, and she does that repeatedly, and there was actually a good amount of rust on the slide, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, went with her to the range, got a whole bunch of guns out, got her gun out, got a couple of guns out just to have her try some stuff and just make sure she's dialed in on the stuff and she feels comfortable with the stuff. So she obviously does, well, maybe not obviously. She has no red dot handguns. She has red dots on her rifle and stuff like that she has, but no red dot handgun. So I got to have a lot more time on iron sights, and can confirm shooting red dots will definitely help you with iron sights. For whatever reason that occurs, I'm not really too sure, but I shot an M&P 2.0. That's the one with the rust, and I also shot my old Glock 23 Gen 4 that had a 9mm drop-in barrel from the 40 that actually shoots pretty damn good, and yeah, I had no issues transitioning back to iron sights at all. Granted, I didn't take the shots as far as I usually do with the red dot thing, because I was mostly just kind of helping her out. But when I got on it, I mean, I was doing pretty easy, to be honest, with the iron sight. So that's kind of cool. Again, don't know why that happens. It's just what happens. I mean, I think it has to do with the fact that your presentation, your draw has to be so good with iron sight with the red dot, that when you transition back to iron sight, it's already going to be spot on in order for you to use that red dot. So just translates very easy over to that. Going into some of the negatives, I suppose. Now again, this does have over 1,000 rounds on this slide. I don't really know how many, to be honest. I don't really keep count. I've been keeping track enough that I know it's over 1,000, but don't know exactly where it is. But yeah, no issues besides the battery. Now, the one downsides, again, is just it's going to be cost, and it's going to be something else to break. That's kind of just the baseline from what you're going with when you put a dot on a gun. Glass can break, electronics can fail, blah, blah, blah. I did, however, try to shoot this at about 10 or so yards. I think about 10 yards. No dot, turned the whole optic off, and I just presented like I knew the dot was gonna be there and shot at a target. Not too hard. Was I getting the best hits? From memory, I got good hits for basically no sighting system. Essentially just a big ghost ring, and just kind of made sure the slide was kind of where I think it should be, and it was hitting pretty good. Now again, if I had to take a hostage shot, probably not gonna be able to do that, but yeah, a dude coming at me like this, squared up to me, easy shots all day, probably even further than that, but I didn't try it. But yeah, 10 yards, easily done. Now, one thing that you kind of figure but you don't really know is it definitely has a little bit more of a push. Glocks are kind of a snappy gun, but they're snappy now in terms of a lot of recoil, because the recoil is actually more easily mitigated, at least in my opinion, than other handguns. But the handgun, like Glocks have a thing of like tracking really fast. They'll reciprocate and they'll snap back to kind of where they are. So not a lot of rise, but definitely kind of a snap, if that makes sense. Whatever. So you put a red dot on there and you don't do anything else to the slide. Obviously, you're going to have more weight, especially more weight near the rear, which it does give you a perceivable, I think is a better word, perceivably a little bit more recoil. I've noticed that if you do add a weapon light out of there, it seems to balance it a little bit, but yes, you are going to get a little bit more recoil. That's kind of what I found with it. If it was kind of a rambly video, I do apologize. I'm trying to get this done real quick while I have the time. But yeah, going forward, I'm definitely going to be looking to take more pistols and get them dotted, because I think, one, that is kind of the future, especially as these things become a little bit more prevalent in terms of cost and then just availability of different kinds of dots. Yeah, these are going to be kind of everywhere. So that is pretty much it. If you found it helpful, leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want to support the channel, I do have some stuff down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do have a video coming out about drones that I recorded about a month ago. It kind of pissed me off trying to edit it, so I'm just kind of dealing with that now. But anyway, that is pretty much it. Like I said, support the channel, blah, 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 and see you later.